Hey guys, I'm Sarah Butler and you're watching Cowgirls Live. Today we're going to talk about buckles, tips, and I'm going to introduce you guys to a special guest at the end. But before I get started, I'm going to just tell you guys my sponsors and thank them. So I have 3 sponsors. My first sponsor is Catoctin Mountain Orchard. So if you guys are ever in need of apples or apple butter, fruit, pies, cookies, you name it, they have it. So go to Catoctin Mountain Orchard. My second sponsor is CraigShipp.com. So if you ever need anything done with videos and business, go to CraigShipp.com. And my third sponsor is Mid-Atlantic TV. Thank you, sponsors. So before we dive into the buckles, I'm just going to tell you guys how my last barrel race went. My last barrel race was at Diamond 7 in Pennsylvania. My horse and I didn't have perfect runs, but we did pretty good and we got money every day. But we still have some stuff to improve on with turning barrels tighter. And I'm going to get into that when I tell you guys my tip. And my next barrel race is December 8th. So not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. And that's also going to be at Diamond 7. So throughout this video, if you guys have any questions, just comment them as the video goes along, and I'll be answering them probably towards the end. So I have been barrel racing since I was 12, as I said before in the last video. And so over the course of 6 years, I've gotten a lot of awards and buckles. So this video is just going to show you guys what I have so far, and maybe not even all of them because there's a lot. So the first buckle I'm going to show you guys is the first one that I ever won. I won this buckle on Rascal back in 2012 in the youth class. It's going to be down here. So, like I said, I have a lot, so I'm going to be like grabbing them throughout the video. So here's the first one. It says ACBR Junior Youth 1D 2012 Champion. So here's that. This buckle was won from Atlantic Coast Barrel Racing Association. That's what ACBR stands for. And that was the first year that I started running Rascal, and really the first year that I got into barrel racing. That took, I was like super excited that I got that because, like I said, it was like my first year on Rascal competing. And I remember one of my times, my best time that year was an 18.2. And now looking back, like that's a long time for me now because I have ran in a high 14, low 15, you know? And so looking back on that, I know it's only 3 seconds, but to me, it's a huge difference and it's a huge improvement. So from 6 years, we've come so far, and I am like so excited to keep getting better and better. But that was just my first buckle. I don't know the order of the other ones, so I'm just going to try my best to go in order. My next buckle I'm going to show you guys is from, looks like, okay. So here's another one from 2012. This one was won in the Wrangler class. This is also an ACBR buckle. They have barrel races in Hanover. They don't actually have the organization ACBR anymore there. They don't hold those barrel races there anymore. I don't know why, but anyway. So this buckle was won in the Wrangler class. They had a Wrangler class that whoever hasn't run like under a 19-second run could run in it. It didn't have anything to do with age, and they usually don't have that at most barrel races. They just have like a Pee-wee class, which is 12 and under, a youth class, which is 18 and under, and then they have like adults and masters, which is like seniors. So to have a Wrangler division at that ACBR, it was a lot of fun because I hadn't ran under 19-second run until the end of that year. So that was like a good learning opportunity for me, and especially because I was able to win a buckle without running super fast times. So buckles are made out of, let's read, silversmith. So, they're just like metal. It's not really like real silver, I guess, because that would be like really expensive. But they're like hard. I don't really know They have, most of them are just painted. They're not actual gold. At least these ones. I've never gotten one that's been like a super fancy, expensive one. But these ones are like just painted on there. Like the gold is just painted on because it's from wearing them so much. Like I've had a lot of them chip. It's not super fancy, but I know that once you get like really good, they have more expensive buckles that they use. The next buckle I have is going to be from 2013. Again, this is another ACBR buckle. This was like the main place that I used to barrel race at, and I won lots of buckles there, as you can tell. This one was a junior youth 1D champion. So they also had a division called junior youth, which you don't see that very often. Junior youth was 13 and under. So that year, I believe, was my last year running in that, since it was 2013. So that was 13 and under, not 18 and under. Like I said, most places just have 18 and under and like Pee-wee, which is like 12 and under. But this place had a junior youth instead of a Pee-wee class. And then, let's see here. Oh, I have another one from 2012 that I missed. This one is ACBR Youth 3D Finals Champion. So, by the way, you guys should count along as we go how many buckles I have, because I don't actually know. So far we have 3, and this is the 4th one. So this one is an ACBR buckle again, and this is a 3D. So basically, there's a certain way that we divide the times up for barrel racing, and it's kind of confusing. So I'm going to try my best to explain it to you guys, but it's probably going to take a little bit for you to actually understand. So the first division is the fastest time, and that's what like starts the other divisions. The other divisions are based off of the fastest time. So we call that the 1D a lot of times instead of the first division. The second division, depending on how many divisions there are, like this is getting confusing here, is either a half second or a whole second off the first division. So let's say the fastest time is a 15:0. If this is a 3D barrel race, which means like the last division would be 3D, then it would be a whole second off of the 1D. So 1D would be a 15:0, and then the 2D would be a 16:0. So anything closest to the 16:0 would be a top 2D time. So it goes 1D would be 15:0, 2D would be 16:0, and then 3D would be 17:0 if the winning time was a 15:0. Now, if the winning time was like a 14:9, then it would be a 15:9, and then a 16:9, and so forth. So basically, depending on where your time is, if your time is between a 16:9 and a 17:9, that would mean you'd be somewhere in the 2D. If you ran a 16:9, then you'd be first in the 2D, as long as the 1D was a 15:9. It's kind of confusing. I hope I tried explaining it. Like, I've tried explaining this to so many people, and it really just takes a while for it to get in your head. Maybe you guys understand, maybe you don't, I don't know. But that's how they divide it up. So like I used to place a lot more in the 3D. Now I'm typically in the 1D, 2D range, which is an improvement for me because it's always better to be in the 1D than the 3D if you can help it. So here's one from 2014 ACBR. This one is an open 2D champion. So that means this one was probably a 4D barrel race, so it would have been a half second off. So this is probably like a 15:5. Actually, maybe not, because I don't think I was that fast back then. So maybe the times in that arena were different. So maybe it was like a 16:5. They were probably running like 16s that year, a lot of 16s. So like this was probably a 16:5 run, maybe a 17-second run. I'm not sure if it was a 4D or a 3D barrel race. It really gets confusing with that. Let's see. This one. Here's another 2014 Youth 2D Reserve Champion. So you might notice that my name actually, I don't know if any of those have my name on it or not, but you might have noticed that my name is spelled Sarah without an H right here. My name is actually spelled Sarah with an H, but they put the wrong name on here apparently. So it just says Sarah Butler, without an H, which is wrong. And I wore this so much because I thought it was so cool that my name was on there. But it like really annoyed me because they forgot the H. But anyway, that was a 2014 one. And then all these that I've shown you have been like throughout the whole year. They haven't been from one specific barrel race. This is like a year-end award type thing. And then I also have a ton of other little awards that I've won from running ACBR that I'll show you guys. So I'm not going to show you every single one because that would just be kind of boring. But they're all dusty. They've been sitting on my desk forever. But this one is 2013 ACBR Junior Youth Reserve Champion 2D. So here's this one. Just a horse running around a barrel, super dusty. This was the second year I was competing. So reserve champion, I probably won this with Ivy in the 2D. So I was definitely really happy about that because that was, again, my second year competing. I still get really excited about buckles and things, but my first few years competing, like winning those things, it was like so exciting for me. Here is another one. This one is also 2013. This one was 1D Junior Youth Regional Finals. So this was just from finals. It wasn't from a whole year. But here's this one. And this is a 1D. So that means that I would have had basically the fastest time all year round, like by average. Or never mind, not all year round, because this was regional finals. So like that weekend probably that they had regional finals, that would have been the fastest time average. So that was a big accomplishment. Here is, so this one right here, it says Walk Trot Canter second place potato race. I think this was a barrel race where, I think there was like one barrel and we had to hold a potato and run around it. I'm not really sure. I don't remember, but this is just something different. This was like a fun show that I won this at. They have fun shows and basically they're not just barrels. There's other things that you do, but they're all about speed. So there could be like certain barrel patterns set up that aren't the regular 3 barrels or something involving a potato. And then again, like I don't even know if I actually had a potato in that because that was so long ago and I forgot. So yeah, but here is an award. This isn't even from barrel racing. This is from 4-H. I used to do 4-H when I was 12, apparently, because it says 2012. And this is Silver Spirit Awards. So in 4-H, back when I did 4-H, they had different awards. So they had bronze, silver, and gold. And it was basically just how many things you've done for the community throughout that year. If I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Not 100% sure because I haven't done 4-H in so long, but I believe it was like how much you've done for your community and how much you've done for your 4-H. What have you participated in basically? And then you got an award based on that. So I got silver. I was right in the middle. 4-H was a lot of fun for me, but they didn't have like quite what I wanted. They weren't as crazy as I was about horses. I feel like I really just wanted a barrel race, and these people were fun to be around and they were fun to hang out with and they were good at riding, but they liked slower pace things. And so they had a horse show every year, and I went to this horse show like twice, and I never really had fun because it was all slow stuff. They did a Western pleasure class. So for the Western pleasure class, you just walk around the arena on your horse until they say trot. They'll say trot, all trot. And then you just jog your horse very slowly around the arena. Like it's not even a natural jog. It's just like a do, do, do. Like it's just like, I didn't like it because I just wanted to run on my horse and these people were just slower paced, which is good. Like that's all cool, but I was just not about that slow stuff. I just wanted to rodeo. So that's kind of why I left 4-H. Like it was exciting the first few years for me, but after that I was just kind of out of it. Here is another thing from the walk, trot, canter class at Easy Rider Ranch. This is in Hanover, Maryland. This is 4th place in the plug. So, like I said, there's other things besides just barrels that we do. A plug, the plug, or also known as the 50-yard dash, involves 1 barrel just at the end of the arena. It's like your 3rd barrel when you run a pattern. It's at the end. It's by itself. All you do is run down, run around it, and run back. And that's really more based off of just how fast your horse can run than turning, because there's only 1 turn involved. But I got 4th place in that. I don't know what horse that was on. I'm guessing it was Ivy, because Rascal used to be really good at the plug. Like, he would smoke everybody. Here's another one. This is from 4-H Horse Bowl Award, 2013. So, Horse Bowl is this thing where you answer questions about horses. Basically, we would study for a few months, and then we'd go to the Horse Bowl, and it was this big thing in Maryland that involved all of the people that practice for Horse Bowl through 4-H. And basically, you would study these books, read all this stuff about horses, and you'd have to know the answers to these questions that they would ask you. So you go to Horse Bowl, and you go against all the different teams from Maryland, and you hold this buzzer in your hand, and there would be a judge and a person asking questions, like on the other side. So like you'd be sitting in a chair, and then they'd be like over there. So you'd hold this buzzer, and then they'd say, like, they'd ask a question and be like, what kind of brush do you use to brush your horse's back if you just want to lightly powder the dirt off? And then you'd just buzz it and be like, you use a body brush. And then like the fastest person to buzz it and answer the question correctly would win, and you'd get a point for your team. So I participated in that for a good 2 years, and that was a lot of fun. I definitely learned a lot from that. And so that's the award I won from that, just for participating, because our 4-H club didn't make it to the finals in that. So that was just like a participation award just from my club specifically, instead of like the whole Horse Bowl organization. Here is a Junior Youth Reserve 1D from 2013. So this is just another trophy, not a buckle, another trophy. That's from the Junior Youth in the 1D, so that's 13 and under. That was the last year I participated in that. And I got 1st in the 1D, and that was throughout the whole year. It wasn't let me make sure. Yeah, it was just throughout the whole year. So that wasn't just from one weekend. That was like my overall average winnings of 1 year. And then I'm almost done with these trophies. I know they're getting kind of boring. Here is the ACBR 2013 1D Wranglers Regional Finals. So this is finals. This is just my average time from over the weekend. It's not from the whole year around. And you can also win buckles for doing that. You can win buckles for winning like any barrel race, rodeo. It just depends on what the person who puts the barrel race or rodeo on wants to do. They can either give you money, they can give you money and a buckle, they can just give you a buckle, they can give you an award. It's whatever they want to do. So not every organization is going to give you a buckle at the end of the year. And sometimes they give like saddles, stuff like that, instead of buckles, which saddles are nice because they cost more money. Oh, and I've also won 3 saddles. I don't have them here with me, but I've won one from the Open 1D in Maryland. I believe that was, I want to say 2016. I think it was 2016. That was from the Open. That was like basically #1 in Maryland for an IBRA. That was literally #1 in Maryland, IBRA. And that was on Rascal. And that was a lot of hard work to win that saddle. I had to basically go to every IBRA barrel race, which is pretty much every weekend. I didn't have any free time over the weekends. My friends would always be like, hey, you want to hang out? I'd be like, no, I have a barrel race. Sorry, like that's my typical answer when people ask me if I want to hang out. No, I have a rodeo. No, I have a barrel race. I got to ride my horse. It just happens, especially when you want to accomplish a goal and really focus on it. You're going to have to take a lot of time out of your schedule, out of your weekends, out of hanging out with friends. And if you have really good friends, they'll come with you to the rodeos and barrel races. And I have a few of those, which is great. But here we go. 2013 ACBR Junior Youth Top 5 2D. So this would be a half second off of the winning time. And then I have one more of these trophies. I have plenty more that I could have shown you, but I don't want to bore you guys with showing you these trophies. So 2013 ACBR Junior Youth Top 5 3D. So that one was a 3D time. That wasn't as good as the 1D. And the reason I have different ones, so if you've noticed, I've said 2013 from like this junior youth like 2 times, and that's because I won the 1D and the 3D because I had 2 different horses. I had Rascal and Ivy. So basically one of them was running 1D times, one of them was running 3D times, and that's just how it worked out. And let's see. I'm going to show you guys some more buckles now. Actually, yeah, I'll show you guys more buckles. So let's get to some more recent buckles here. Make sure you guys are counting, by the way, because I'm showing you all my buckles that I have, at least at my house. I don't know if I have any at my grandma's or not, but this one is from the Virginia Barrel Classic Youth 2D Champion.
Sarah?
Yes.
Sarah Easterday said, hold up the buckles longer.
Okay. All right, so hold them up longer. Here's this one. This is a Virginia Barrel Classic Youth 2D Champion 2016. This one I got in Virginia at the Barrel Classic from running a 2D time. So this was half a second off the winning time because this was a 4D. And that was over a whole weekend. That wasn't over a year. So I won this on Rascal. And then I also got a nice check from that run because it was a huge barrel race. This one is 2017 1D Champion Youth Maryland. So here's this one. This is IBRA also. So last year I was the youth champion in IBRA. They didn't give out saddles, they gave out buckles last year. So I got this buckle. And again, I went to like a lot of the barrel races last year. I didn't go to as many IBRAs this year because I didn't have Rascal and stuff came up. I've been having school and everything just got in the way. But still chugging along. Here is, this is from 2017 as well. This is from IBRA National Finals out in Tennessee. This is reserve champion in the 3D. So if I had gotten champion, I would have won a saddle, but I got reserve. So last year, I went out to Tennessee with my horse Rascal and my horse Tigger. So this is 2017. We didn't do that well because Rascal and I had qualified to go to nationals, I believe, as top 5 in the 1D. Yeah, it was top 5 in the 1D. So to go out there and then be placing 3D times wasn't the best because we were placing a second off of the winning times. I'm still really happy with the fact that I was able to win some stuff and win some money, but I was a little annoyed because we just weren't, I don't think he was really feeling that good, honestly, because he wasn't turning like I know he can do and like he's done in the past. So that was really just a humbling time for me, just going out there and not doing like I had planned, but you know, it happens. You're going to have ups and downs with barrel racing. Let's see. I have 3 more buckles to show you guys. And these are all from the same place. No, actually I have 5 more buckles to show you guys. This is from a hay bale race last year. This is youth. So there was 3 hay bales set up and I ran around all 3 of them on my horse Rascal and we were able to win the youth. And we also won the open. So I'm just going to show you guys one buckle for those because they look the same. The only difference is this one says youth and the other one says open. All right, and then I have this one. This is from a series, Bibles, Bulls, and Barrels series at Lady Longear's Ranch. And this is a youth buckle as well. This is one of my favorite buckles because I really love the cactuses and the little rhinestones on here. They're really cute. And all right, I have 2 more buckles to show you guys. These ones are both on belts, so they're going to be kind of a pain. But here we go. This one is from last year in the MSRA, so Maryland High School Rodeo Association. I got Rookie of the Year. That was my first year joining them. It was also my last year because I was a senior last year. So I was kind of sad about that because I really had a lot of fun in Maryland High School Rodeo. And I wish that I would have joined when I was younger because I had tons of fun and I could only do it for 1 year. But if you rodeo and you live in Maryland or really any state, I suggest that you definitely join your high school rodeo association because it's a lot more fun than you would expect. Here is the last buckle I'm going to show you guys. This one is from 2015 and 2016, the MSRA champion. That's Mountain State Rodeo Association. This buckle I really lucked out on because that weekend, all right, I have a funny story about that weekend. So it was cold out and I don't like the cold, but anyway, I went to this barrel race in Virginia for 2 days. And I was the first one out to run, and they had, I don't know how many people they had. They had at least 30. And they had, I believe, 10 in performance, and they also had slack. So slack is basically just, performance is how many people they run in the actual rodeo. Slack is just everybody else that they couldn't fit in the rodeo, and they draw people, or whoever calls first. It depends on how the person running it wants to do it. But anyway, I was first out, and then they still had slack, and then they still had everybody else to run, and I won. But the whole time, the whole barrel race, I was watching, like, hoping that nobody would beat me. And it's really stressful for me anyway to have a good run and then have to watch everybody else run because I get really nervous. Like, I don't want to wish bad luck on them, but at the same time, I'm like, I really want to win this. So it can get a little annoying watching everybody, but I watched everybody, and this one guy came in, and he was near the end, and I said, oh no, he's going to beat me, because this guy, he was good. He was really good. He had a really nice horse. He's a really good rider. He comes in there. He goes around the first barrel, and I'm like, oh no, that was a really good turn. He's definitely going to beat me. He goes to the second barrel, and I'm like, oh no, this is going to be another good turn. Well, he almost knocks the second barrel over, so he reaches his hand down to pick the barrel up, and as he reaches his hand down, his horse trips, and he falls on the butt of his horse. So his saddle's in front of him, and he literally is riding on the butt of his horse around the second barrel to the third barrel, and he rides around the third barrel and finishes out the race like that. He didn't beat me, but he almost fell off his horse. And I was like, I felt really bad about that. But at the same time, I was kind of happy. But it's okay, because he wins everything. He was this really good barrel racer, and he like would win everything. So I'm sure he was like, oh wow, that little girl just beat me. But I was happy. And that was in 2015 to 2016. All right, so I think that's going to be it for the buckles tonight and the awards, because I have some more I could show you, but I don't want to be boring, so I'm going to move on and give you guys a tip for barrel racing. So basically, I'm going to tell you guys where your hand should be when you're running barrels. So there's 3 barrels in a barrel race. There's 1, 2, here, let me just draw it for you guys so that you guys can see. So this is how it is set up. I don't know, can you guys see that? And you start down here, all right? So for barrels, you're going to start in the middle of those, and then you're going to go around the first 2, like in a cursive 8, and then you're going to head to the third barrel and wrap that barrel. So there's a certain way to run barrels that is going to give you the best time, and a lot of it has to do with where your hands are going to be. So when you're going to the first barrel, you should always have 2 hands, and then once you get to the barrel, you need to drop your rein and hold with your other hand with hold your horn with your other hand, and then be pulling around your horse with the hand that's closer to the barrel. And you also need to sit back really deep in your seat. And then when you come out of that first barrel, you want to come out of the first barrel and always be looking to your second barrel, and then grab 2 hands again and do the same thing going around the second barrel that you did around the first. So sit back, grab your horn with the hand, your outside hand, and grab your rein with your inside hand to turn the barrel. And then you want to look to your next barrel and go back to 2 hands, which is running to the third barrel from the second to third, 2 hands. And then when you get to your third barrel, you want to switch back to 1 and hold on to your horn and turn that barrel, and then run home with 1 or 2 hands. It doesn't really matter as long as you're just letting your horse run as fast as they can. So basically, the tip here is use 2 hands between barrels and 1 hand going around. And that's going to help your horse sit down on its butt. It's also going to help you to lean back and keep your seat when you're turning a barrel. Horses have to turn barrels on their hind end, or else it's just not going to be as natural for them, and it's going to be harder for them. So you switching to 1 hand is really going to help, because it's going to force yourself back in the seat more. And also when you grab that horn, you want to sit yourself back in the seat, like really push yourself in. So the horn, by the way, is the thing like in front on Western saddles. They all have this little like knob thing. It's about this big. It's called a horn, and you want to grab that and push yourself back into your seat with that. All right, so for the last part of my video, I'm going to show you guys one of my best friends, and she's been here the whole time sleeping. Her name is Annie, and she's a dog. She's an Australian cattle dog mixed with a border collie, and she's 2 years old. And I pretty much do like everything with Annie. I take her with me to the barn, take her with me to barrel races, take her with me to rodeos. I take her with me everywhere. And even like if I'm doing something and it's not hot out, she'll sleep in my truck while I'm like out at the store or something. If it's like an okay weather, like if it's okay weather for that day, she'll sleep in the truck and I'll come right back out and she'll just still be asleep. She'll wait on me forever. And she's always just following me around. She's the best. I don't even have to have a leash or anything. She's crazy. She's gotten trampled by a horse before because she likes to run underneath of their legs, but she's fine. She's okay. Don't worry. So her favorite food is cheese and ice cream. So I have cheese right here. Annie, come here. Come here. You want some cheese? Come here. Come here. So I'm going to just move this over here a little bit. So here's Annie. And her favorite spot to be is on my bed, which I don't usually let her on my bed because she's always dirty. But I figured for today, for this video, she could be on my bed. So this is Annie. And she's eating cheese. She knows a lot of tricks. She knows how to say hi. I'm going to see if she'll do it. Annie, can you say hi? Say hi. Get up. Get up. Sit. Look. Sit. Say hi. Sit. She's not going to do it. I'll try it again. Sit. Annie, sit. Get up. Get up. Say hi. She's waving her paw a little bit. I don't know if you guys can tell, but she waves her paw and she says hi. She's being too lazy. That's typical of her. She is a lazy dog. Most cattle dogs are lazy, and she is one of those. And she likes to just lay around all day, and she only does tricks for cheese. And sometimes she doesn't even do it for cheese because she's lazy. She also rides horses sometimes, and I taught her to jump up on the horse while I'm up there. So she'll jump up the horse's leg, and then I can just grab her, and she'll ride around with me. And she's like my best friend. I take her everywhere. And that's my dog, Annie. That's your special guest for the night. So now I'm going to answer your questions. Just going to go over here to the comment section. So let's see here. David Barr. I'm going to try my best to say your names the right way, but I'm not the best at reading names that I don't know. So how do you train for barrel racing? Do you ride every day? How many hours per week do you ride? So training for barrel racing, you can train your horses lots of different ways and do lots of different exercises and things like that. But I'm just going to go over like the main things that you can do to train a horse for barrels. So you want to have your pattern, your barrel pattern set up, and you want to practice that so they get that in their head. Once your horse knows the pattern, I don't suggest keeping your horse on the pattern because you're going to get a horse that hates running barrels if you just focus on running around 3 barrels. So once your horse has that down at like a lope, so a lope is, so there's walk, trot, and then there's lope, and then there's gallop. So a lope is like the 3rd speed. It's not full gear, but it's not slow either. So once they have the pattern down at a lope and have it in their head, unless you have like a big problem, I don't suggest keeping your horse on the pattern. So every now and again, I'll refresh my horses because they already know how to run barrels. They have it in their head. I'll refresh them on the pattern. But other than that, it's really just exercising them in certain ways, stretching out their neck, making sure that they're flexible, making sure they're bending for you, and a lot of muscle building. So trotting really helps build up muscles in horses. And also trail riding is really good for that because you're going up and down hills, and that's really going to build up their leg muscles and their butt muscles, which are very important for turning barrels. So it depends on the weather for me, really. I don't have an indoor arena, so if it's raining out all week, I don't really ride that much. I try to get on my horse when I can, but right now I have college and the weather has not been great, so haven't been riding that many hours per week. I'd probably say like 3 or 4, which is really bad. But I try to get on 2 horses a day if it's nice out, at least 2 horses, so that they stay in shape and I stay in shape. And then Liquid Smoke says, did you grow up on the countryside? Well, I live in Maryland, so there's not really a lot of country out here, especially when you compare this to Wyoming. But for Maryland, I guess I did. I actually live in a neighborhood, but I'm over at my grandma's, which my barn is over there more than I really am at my house. So you could say that. Like I grew up with my horses. I grew up riding horses. I grew up at the barn. So maybe you could say that. I don't know. I mean, we're not really in the city, but we're not really in the country. How many horses do I have? Andrew Hatcher asks. So Andrew Hatcher, there are 6 horses. There are 6 horses at my grandma's farm, and I ride all of them. Technically, 2 of them are mine, but I mean, I'm the only one who really rides them, so you could say they're all mine, but they're not really all mine, you know. Manny Rusin, what are the do's and don'ts when dating a cowgirl? City boy, by the way. First off, don't tell her you're from the city. That's just a deal breaker. On the dot. Sorry. But you do not want to be from the city if you're going to date a cowgirl. Also, you have to be stronger than she is. I throw around 50-pound bales of hay and feed, and I hate to see a guy that can't do that. Like, it's like, I'm not supposed to be stronger than you. I went to Southern States the other day to get some bedding, and there's this guy out there. He's got these earrings in, and he's like wearing his skinny jeans. I was like, why is he working here? So he picks up this bag of bedding, and he's like struggling to put it in the bed of my truck. And I was like, man, I could have done that faster than he could. I should have just gotten out and put the bedding in the back of my truck before he did it, because he took forever, and I was like shocked that I was stronger than him, and he looked like he was about 20 years old, and he's this like full-grown guy, and I don't want to see that. That's the number one thing. You got to be stronger than her, like than a cowgirl. And always be supportive of her horses. Never ever make fun of her horses. Do not say her horse is ugly. Don't say that like she's riding the horse wrong or that her horse is crazy. As long as you love her horses and you're strong, you're good. You're definitely good. But also don't say you're from the city. That's no. Blue, are Percherons gentle horses? Any horse can be crazy. It doesn't matter what breed it is. Any horse can be gentle, whatever breed it is, in my opinion. It's all how the horse is trained. So I don't really know because I've never owned that kind of horse. But I really think that horses can be trained. Most every horse can be trained, I think. So unless it's just one crazy horse, that's a Percheron, I would say that they could be gentle, but it depends. If you go out in the wild and there's a wild Percheron horse, well, it wouldn't really be a Percheron horse if it was wild, probably, but there's like a fuzz. then that horse is probably not going to be gentle because it's not going to be trained. So it's really not even about the breed. It's just about how the horse is trained, you know, what you do with the horse, if it's used to people or not. Blue says again, Maryland is the home of Ben's cat. Is that horse a legend in Maryland? I don't really hear a lot about Ben's cat, but I mean, maybe that's just me, so I don't know. River Maddock. Hey, it's a cowgirl. Hello. Hi. Azak says, are there any other videos of the barrel races, etc. on YouTube? I've seen some footage on Craig's channel. So, not yet. I don't have any posted on YouTube that are already recorded, but I'm getting to that. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get some videos up. I'm trying to, you know, make the rainy weather go away, but I can't really do that. So, but I will definitely work on getting some of those up there. I do also have an Instagram, by the way, if you guys want to follow my Instagram. That's Sarah_LYNNNE. So it's Lynn with one extra N. And I do have videos of barrel racing up there. Does Annie like, Manny Roussan says, does Annie like peanut butter as well? Yes, Annie likes peanut butter, but she doesn't love it because a lot of times, like if Annie's ever, she's been sick before. Well, not really sick. She had like she was just like sore, and I had to give her these little, basically pain pills for dogs. And I give it to her in peanut butter. So every time I give her peanut butter, she's a little suspicious about that. Azak says, hey, are there these types of horse races around the world for championships? Yeah, I mean, I've met people from Australia, the barrel race. I believe they're pretty much, they're not everywhere, but there is a lot of people who barrel race and rodeo around the world. I mean, there's not like tons and tons, but there are other people in different countries that barrel race. All right, so I want to thank my sponsors again, Catoctin Mountain Orchard, Frederick.com, and Mid-Atlantic TV. Thank you guys for sponsoring me. Also, stay tuned for my next video because I'm going to try to get one of my friends on my video. He's a bullfighter, so he is one of the guys that hangs out outside of the chutes when they ride bulls, and he basically helps save the bull riders from getting a horn in their back, and he'll just basically mess with the bull to try to get him distracted. His name is Jake, and I'm going to try to get him up here next week on my live video. So hopefully he doesn't chicken out on me, and he does it, but he's a bullfighter, so I don't think he's much of a chicken. Manny Roussan says, thank you, Craig and Sarah. This was fun. You're welcome. So you guys stay tuned for my next video with Jake, hopefully, if you want to learn about bullfighting. Not the crazy kind where they like stab the bull, but the kind where they just distract the bull. It's a lot of fun. So thank you guys. Have a nice night. Bye.